Yeah, Brent Hall, driver of the U440 Bucket List Racing, and really proud. We're going to do some amazing things this summer, and this is the fan favorite when it comes to being the underdog. So watch out, here we come. Personally, I've been really focused on driving new sponsors into the sport. So we'll be announcing some sponsors that are coming along with us, and I just call those family members. So we'll be working on that. But for me, I've been working on getting in shape. So I noticed the belt line was getting a little tighter than I liked, and actually one of our sponsors might be someone who helps with weight loss and trying to drop a few pounds. That picture that we took for H1, I'm down about 10 pounds since then, so time to drop a few more, but I'll be in fighting shape by racing season. Yeah, I've had a lot. And funny, I started with radio control, so fell in love with the hydros back as a kid, did radio control, but then I had the opportunity to lease a 5-liter from Bud McKay and got out at Tasting and Racing, got some good laps in and enjoyed it. And so that was 2007, and I've been in pretty much every class since then. 2.5 stock, I've been a 1-liter, I've been a national mod, was with Hop Racing for 4 or 5 years, so a lot of varying experience. And then obviously we're going to talk about the chance that I had to drive a Unlimited too. Yeah. Yeah, that's a very unique story because I knew I wasn't ready. I just had my first season as a 2.5 stock driver, and it was like test driving a Ferrari before you're ready to buy one. And I was like, all right, well, if you want me to find sponsors, I'll do it, but really, it's not about the money for me. It was more about experience. And so if I find sponsors, then, hey, I want some laps in the boat. And so that's what we worked out. And that was 2012. I brought Les Schwab. I brought Seattle Suntan. Isn't that funny? A brother being sponsored by Seattle Suntan. Good friend. Seattle Home Appliance, you name it. I mean, we had some really great sponsors, AT&T. And really, it was to bring that boat together. And boy, it's amazing to see how far that boat has gone since then. That was only the beginning. So on the Unlimited side, mostly it's been marketing. So like with the 9, Jeff brought me in to do some marketing and sponsorship, got a chance to get some laps. I knew that, I really needed more seat time, so that's when I went to Hop Racing. I was there for probably about 4 or 5 years. But then most recently, I was working with the Detroit Unlimited team, and so with Dave and folks and helping with marketing and sponsorship. We're really waiting for you to come back, so please come back because we need more boats. So I worked with them, but when I knew they weren't coming to Seattle, then I had the opportunity to work with Strong. And what an amazing team. I think that's what I love about this sport is we're all working together and helping each other, and he knew that I had some experience with marketing and just gave me a chance to see the behind the scenes in boat racing at a grander level. Yeah, a 440 program's amazing for me because what it does is it gives me an opportunity to be in one of the 9 seats in the world that are active. And I've got a great boat, I've got an amazing crew. Big Mike is my crew chief, so I'm really excited to work with him. We've known each other for years. But this team really comes together and it's a family. And just in talking to Kelly and Sharon, it's really important the way the boat looks, the way we represent ourselves. And so you'll see that in Bucket List Racing. We do things the right way, we do it as a family, and we have a lot of fun too. Boy, just getting out in that boat and letting it rip, it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, what I do know about this boat is it's got a lot of torque, and it can hit, buck 80 at the end of the straightaway. It's just a little bit smaller, so working through the corners, have to be ahead of it, just to make sure we do okay. But excited to learn. Dustin's already given me some of the tips to success with this boat and what to watch out for, and so is Kelly. But really just getting out there, learning, and then becoming officially qualified. That'll be big. Number one, officially be qualified. I think that's a huge thing. But while I'm doing that, I think it's a big opportunity for me to get boat racing out in front and center. So I'm a big marketing person, and whether it's boat racing that's on Seattle New Day Northwest, and having us from every chair that we're in talk about boat racing, bring it to other genres so that people just know our names again. I think that part is so important. If you think back to the days of Bill Munsey and Chip Hanauer and Steve Reynolds, everyone knew their name. And it's because they were everywhere. Bill Munsey was in Butterworth commercials. He was in BMW commercials. He was everywhere. And so for us as drivers, we have a unique opportunity to get back out there again. It's just gonna look different than it was before. It's not just TV, it's social media, it's any event that we can attach boat racing to. That's really how we take this one fan at a time, one event at a time. Boy, I had a lot, I really did. And so I'm gonna name a couple. So obviously Bill Munsey was a favorite. Amazing starts, and just hearing the stories about how he timed his starts using music. And so, he was a saxophone player, and he knew just by playing this song in his head over and over again where he needed to be at the start. So Bill Munsey, and being a marketer, I think he's amazing to me and for the sport. Obviously, my mentor is Harold Mills, and so he was the first African-American to ever race at Seafair. And so to meet him and see him meant the world to me, and it really gave me an eye to like, wow, maybe I could do this too. And so I was on his crew in 2005, got a chance to follow him around, and then he retired that next year, and I was like, man, well, maybe I need to do a fundraiser for kids, get out in a boat, and that's when I leased Bud McKay's 5-liter, and that's really when it started. And this is very, very clear, but I've always loved the pay and pack turbine. So that's been my #1 boat since the day I can remember. That's the boat that I raced in radio control, and actually now getting to know John Walters, one of my favorite friend drivers, just because he looks out for me. And so seeing that boat go 2.5 revolutions and just take off, and him get right out and be able to talk to people later on down the road after his injury was repaired was just amazing. But I think just the spectacle of the flip and the looks of that boat and the way he got back in and did it again just always inspired me. That's my favorite boat. First memory of Unlimiteds was my mom, who's passed. We had Seafair parties every year, and so we had a peekaboo view of boat racing, and we'd have a party every summer. And so all of our friends and family would come over, and we'd all pile around the TV, but then also go out and listen for the boats when they were out there racing. And man, just that's what dreams are made of, and that's why I always look forward to the summer. So thinking about bucket list racing and thinking about the team in general, I'm just so excited for the summer to come and for us to bring like new traditions for families like it was for ours, and really just become part of this great sport that we all love. Yeah, wow. I never would have expected that the Gold Cup would be here my first time getting out in a boat, and that's just amazing. I'll be able to look up when I'm driving out there. I promise I'll keep my eyes on the course, but I'll be able to see where my house was. And to know that, and to know that we're racing for the Gold Cup, means everything. And that's 9 boats that will be out there. Everyone has a chance to win. Yes, we'll be the underdog, but at the same time, anything can happen. So hopefully I bring some energy and enthusiasm. I've loved hydroplane racing as long as I can remember, but one of the things that I do have is that marketing side. And, for us to get out, not just with sponsors, but also with the fans. You'll see the way I interact on social media. I know sometimes it's almost taboo, like, do you say something, do you not? I'm just gonna say something. We need to really build that relationship, and we have such great tools to do it. So if someone likes something on Facebook, who knows, I might drop a comment in there just to know that I'm watching and listening. And I read a lot of it. I think it's important for us to know like what our fans are saying. Sure, there's gonna be good posts and posts that have some criticism. I'm all good with that, but at least you're talking about us. Yep. Yeah, wow, an amazing program. And it's across Washington State where kids read books. And it's my understanding they read over 4,500 books as a collective district, and that included like 6 schools and maybe a few more. I may not have that exactly right, but what I will say is go beat that record. I mean, 4,500, we're all about breaking records in hydroplane racing. Break that record, read a whole bunch of books, and then hopefully we get to see you this summer, because I sure had a blast with you. We'll bring the simulator again so you can try that out, but let's have some fun. get some reading done, which is where you really learn about life, and then come enjoy the summer with us at Seafair. Yeah, and I remember racing to Reed last year. So kids, if you're seeing this, we had a blast. And if you remember, for those of you who are at the Kirkland school, we brought the simulator, set it up with a laptop, and y'all got a chance to drive a full-size Unlimited. I don't know about you, but how cool is that? So what I saw kids, and they were just lighting up. They had no idea what it was like to drive a hydroplane, and they got a real feel of it. They realized, hey, if I don't put the front wing in, it blows over, and like, oh my gosh. But what really amazed me was how many came back. So there were ones that were waiting in line. We had a line around the block, and the ones that came back on break and said, oh, I really want to get a chance. And then telling them about the game and how you find HydroSim and just building new fans that way too. They could do it any time of the day that they want. All you need is a PC and probably have to buy a wheel, but you know, you can do it. And then that's a great way to really understand what it's like to race. And then who knows, maybe someday you'll want to race too.